that one of the things that Bilam said was, Mi mana Offer Yaakov. Who can count the offer, means the dirt, of Yaakov, a little of Jacob, but it means the Jewish people. Okay? So the Medrash says that this is what Bilam was saying. Kishavah Bilam midbar mole arlos. This might be a little graphic here. Hope there's no children watching. When Bilam saw the wilderness, it was full of arla from the from the bris. What's the English translation of arla? The piece that's cut off at the bris. Omar mi yochal lamod be'ela sheish lahem schus dam bris. Who's going to be able? Oh, foreskin. That's the arla. Oh, it's the foreskin. Okay, it's a midbar full of foreskins. So he said, who's going to be able to start up with these people that have the schus, the merit of the dam bris milah, the blood from the bris milah? And not just that, after they do bris milah, what do they do with the arla? They cover it with dirt. So Offer Yaakov is not a reference to the dust of Yaakov. The little pshat would be the dust of Yaakov. The fact that the Jewish people were told, Avraham Avinu was told, that you're going to have so many descendants like the dust of the earth, so many. That could be. Medrash says no. Offer Yaakov, that the Ola, after the bris, is covered with dirt. Mikan, we see from here, Minog, Shemachasin as Ola ba'offer. That at a bris, we cover the foreskin with dirt. Okay? This is the Medrash. Tzarich lahavin. We have to understand. I understand if Bilam would say, I can't mess with the Jewish people. They have the schus, they have the merit of the mitzvah of bris milah, right? Before we had a whole share about how the donkey gave him mustard. It's not going to work because you're messing with the Jewish people and they have the schus of the mitzvah of Yom Tov. So maybe over here there'll be a problem with starting over with the Jewish people because they have the schus of the mitzvah of bris milah. That I understand. Milah is one of the mitzvahs that's so important. It's considered equal to all the other mitzvahs. Shabbos is one of them. Tefillin is one of them. Fine. So say that. So say milah is so important. Jewish people have the mitzvah of milah, and the schus of the mitzvah of milah is so great. You're not going to be able to be victorious over the Jewish people. That I understand. But what's this that he added that they do mitzvah of milah and they cover the foreskin with dirt? What is that? What's schus? Or we be adding by saying, oh, and then they cover the foreskin with dirt. You just say the mitzvah of milah. Okay, if covering with earth is part of the mitzvah, so then fine. So then that's part of the mitzvah. But why do we specify that part? We don't specify other parts. There's wine. We make a shechiyanu. The Sfar make a shechiyanu. We make a lot of brachas. You have a kishmak, a bagels, a lox. We don't go start listing the whole things that happen at the bris. So why do we mention specifically the covering of the foreskin with the dirt? You hear the kasha? She just said the mitzvah of milah. And then we know what the mitzvah of milah entails. If you don't know, you call up Rabbi Goren, and he'll tell you about what the mitzvah of milah is. I can't mention any mile in town. I figured I mentioned the Lubavitcher mile. Okay.
Is that the only one?
The Lubavitcher mile?
Is that the only Lubavitcher mile?
Okay, that's the one I know. Okay. Says the Ksav Sofer for a beautiful word. The mitzvah of milah was given for honor, for kavod, and tiferes for splendor. That by doing that we show Hashem that we are His chosen nation, because only we have the mitzvah of bris milah. Okay, goyim circumcised, but that's not did a bris milah. We have as they say, the chalois bris milah. Now, that's a very, very special mitzvah. So a person that does this mitzvah, he might be doing it for non-altruistic reasons. He might be doing it because of the honor and splendor and the kavod that's associated with this mitzvah. Look, I'm a yid. I have bris milah. You don't have it. So he might be doing the mitzvah of bris milah not for the most noble intentions, but because he wants to be able to brag that I'm doing this mitzvah, which is so holy and so special. That's not the kavanah you're supposed to have. When you do a mitzvah, it might have a aspect of it that it has the splendor, but that's not the reason why you do a mitzvah. You do a mitzvah because Hashem told us to do the mitzvah. Especially a mitzvah like milah, which is considered more important than any other mitzvah. In this mitzvah of bris milah, welcome. So what we do is the father brings his son into tachas kanfei Shechina. The father brings his son under the wings of the Shechina, of the divine presence, by the mitzvah of milah. What's it considered? It's considered a bris milah so important. It's like bringing a korban, and the blood that's associated with the milah. When you do the milah, that's like the dam of a korban. The baby is a behemoth. I'm sorry, he's a korban. No, it doesn't have to be a behemoth. It could be a korban mincha, a flour. Okay, and the blood from the milah is like the blood from the korban that's sprinkled on the mizbeach. Okay. Now, all these heilige kavanas, all these holy kavanas, the greatest of the mitzvah of milah. How do we have this great level of mitzvah of milah? Only when you do it because Hashem said so, like Avraham Avinu did. When Avraham Avinu did the mitzvah of milah, it wasn't for fanfare. It was only because Hashem told him to do it, not to be about gaiva. It was only because Hashem said so. After he did the mitzvah of milah, what did he say? V'anochi ofar be'efer. I'm like dust and ashes. He wasn't about gaiva. He didn't use the mitzvah of milah to become about gaiva. That's why I'm bringing this. I'm showing. You might ask, who said Avraham Avinu was like that? Maybe Avraham Avinu became about gaiva? No. He said v'anochi ofar be'efer after he did the bris. So you see that the bris didn't affect him to become about gaiva. He didn't become a haughty person. He said v'anochi ofar be'efer, and I'm low even after the bris. What was he doing? He was showing that he did not become affected by doing such a holy mitzvah, and he stayed the same honor that he always was. The Gemara says in Chulin that based on the pasuk in Yeshaya, Kadosh Baruch Hu would not be mashma shchinaso. He would not pour his divine presence on a person who is a Baal Gaiva. Only a honor, only a person who is a humble person will be able to receive divine presence. Maybe, says the Ksav Sofer, that's the hint that we say that we take the oil of the foreskin and we cover it with dirt. Why are we covering the mitzvah? Maybe to be mirames, to hint to us that I didn't become a Baal Gaiva through this mitzvah. I'm like Avraham Avinu that said, V'anochi ofar be'efer. So now we answer two questions. Why do we cover it? To show that we should learn from the Arla. Just like the Arla is not being showy, he's covering himself. You also shouldn't become showy based on the mitzvah of milah, and you should still be honored just like the Arla that was covered. Why do we cover it with Arfar? To hint to us, to be like Avraham Avinu, who said, V'anochi ofar be'efer. I am like dust. So we put dust on top of the Arla to show this idea. Learn from the Arla, just like the Arla is being covered, and learn like Avraham Avinu, who said the word offer, the word dust, be like dust. Consider yourself like dust, just like Avraham Avinu. Don't become a Baal Gaiva because you did a holy mitzvah like milah. So Bilam said, who can? That was the original question that we asked. We said before, let it say, who can start up with the Jewish people? They have the mitzvah of Dam Milah. That's not what it said. The Medrash says that the Rabbeinu was saying Bilam was saying, Mi Mana Afi Yaakov, who can stand up with the Jewish people that they have the mitzvah of Milah and the fact that they cover the Orla. So we asked, why do we mention that? Well, they say Yiddish. Why do we hop on that? We specify the fact that they have the mitzvah of Milah and they cover the Orla. It should say they have the mitzvah of Milah. And then whatever it is, it is. The answer is, that's the point that we're stressing over here. That not only do the Jewish people do the mitzvah of Milah, which is a great madrega of being Eved Hashem, but who can mess with this nation? That not only do they do the mitzvah kitikuna in its proper way, without any other zaitika kavanas, without side kavanas, side intentions to become hardy. No, they do the mitzvah properly, and after they do it, they cover it to show that we don't want to become a Baal Gaiva anymore. The mitzvah has to be done properly without any bad kavanas that would invalidate the mitzvah. So that's what Bilam was saying. So by this mitzvah, you see this idea that not only do we do the mitzvah, but we make sure that we don't have any bad intentions or bad zaitika ideas or thoughts that might invalidate the mitzvah. I was just thinking right now, before we compared Milah to a korban. What happens by a korban if you have bad kavanas, wrong kavanas? It's possible.
Pickle.
Exactly.
Puggle. I have pickle.
So it's called pickle. I'm just thinking now, that's another idea of comparing Milah to korban. Just like by a korban it's pickle. If you have the wrong kavanas, it invalidates the korban. The korban is possible. So over here too, by Milah, if you'd have the wrong kavanas, it'd be no good. So that's what Bilam was saying. That not only do they do the mitzvahs, they do it with the right kavanas, and they make sure that they don't become a Baal Gaiva, a hardy person, based on the mitzvah of Milah. So let's be blessed to do all the mitzvahs and to do with all the proper kavanas, and to make sure that we don't have any bad ideas that might evaluate the mitzvah.